Hi, my name's John. Welcome to part 3 of the review of this Artec 250 amp inverter MIG welder. Right, in the last video we set the welder up, wire, gas flow, all ready to start welding. Before we do any welding, I want to do a little bit about safety. I'm not going to bore your tits off with safety, but I want to cover the basics. When you're using a welder, you're dealing with molten metal, high electricity currents, very bright arc lights and radiation that will burn your skin. There's a few simple precautions we can take to stop all this happening to you. First thing is, you need a welding helmet. This is a quick, what they call a quick change welding helmet. It's got a very light coloured lens, and as soon as you start to weld, the lens changes to a darker colour so you can see what you're doing when you weld. It also protects your eyes. This is an Artec helmet. There's several on the market. This is as good as anything I've ever used. It's fully adjustable for different shades, different delay times. One thing it's got 4 sensors on. Some of your cheaper ones have only got 2 sensors on. The 4 sensors allow it to go down to a very low amperage setting, below 20 amps on TIG welding, and it still works efficiently. I've got a speed glass one here which tends to flash bright once you get down to lower amperage settings. Gloves, not just because things are going to get hot, but because the radiation from the welding process will burn your hands. So you want to wear gloves, you need to wear a hat. You need to make sure all your skin's covered up. One bit of skin, if you wear a V-neck jumper, I was once tacking up outside with a stick welder and I had a V-neck jumper on. I had gloves on and everything, I had gauntlets on, and I burnt that part of my neck really badly. I had to go to hospital. All the skin went red and the skin started to peel off, like very bad sunburn. So everything must be covered up. You can buy overalls, fire retardant overalls. They're not expensive, they're not much more than the price of ordinary overalls. You see people that do a lot of welding, they've got little holes all over their coats and their jumpers. Don't wear nylon. Don't wear them when you're welding. Don't wear nitrile or rubber gloves. You get a hot spark on, it burns into your hand, it has nasty chemicals there. You don't want to be wearing gloves when you're welding. Obviously, when electricity is involved, don't take it outside in the piss and rain. It's not rocket science. You've got a high pressure gas cylinder, make sure it's secure, you don't want it falling over and knocking the regulator off. One more hazard, which isn't really given that much thought, is adequate ventilation. You get some nasty fumes given off from welding, not so much with a MIG, but when you're stick welding off the burning flux, you get some horrible fumes. There's metals you don't want to be welding. You don't want to be welding galvanised metal, for instance. Even when you grind the galvanising off, it's still horrible nasty fumes. I've got the welder set up with 0.6mm wire, so we'll leave that in and we'll start doing some test welds on low amperage settings. I've got some metal, some 0.8mm metal, which is basically what they make car body shells out of. We'll do a bit of welding on that, which is like real life what you would be welding with 0.6 wire. I'll show you some of the different types of welds. You get a butt joint, a lap weld, V joint. We'll do a little bit of uphill welding, vertical welding. Like I've said in my other videos, I'm not a welder. I'm a motor mechanic that can weld. But I have done a lot of MIG welding on cars and car exhausts. So what I'll do, I'll try and make it as real as possible. I'll fix some bits of exhaust to them from work, some bits of the metal we use for repairing sills and chassis legs with, which is really fairly thin stuff. And we'll do some welding on that. Then we'll go to the 0.8 wire, which is more used for fabrication, box section and that sort of stuff. Then we'll put the 1mm wire in, wind it up and see what the machine will actually do. 1/2 inch plate. It'll weld 1/2 inch plate, no problem at all, on 250 amps. So it becomes addictive and expensive. Maybe not easier, but you can see what you do before you start welding. You can see what you do before you start welding. Really. We'll start again.